Hey there, welcome to the video. My name is xwillkedrone, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to fly the Phantom 3 Professional, and I'm going to show you how to change some of the altitude settings on the drone. And by the end of this video, you should be able to do something like this. Now, if you weren't here for our first video on how to prepare the Phantom 3 Professional for flight, please go back on the page and watch that. If you don't watch that and follow the instructions, then you will not know anything about what's going on in this video. So if you haven't done so already, please go back and watch that video. Now, for those of you who are here on our first video and follow all of those instructions, if you go to your phone, I'm going to show you what all this stuff on the screen means. Now, the map on the bottom left-hand corner, that is what Google Maps sees. That is where you are, where your drone is, and what direction your drone is facing. The green light that you'll see that is what direction your drone is facing. The red arrow is the drone, and the blue dot is you, just in case if the drone is somewhere else farther away from you. Now, above that, on the left-hand side, you'll see a square with an arrow going up and a box under it. That is the liftoff. Now, if you press that button, it'll give you a slide, and what it will tell you is that when you take off, it will hover about 4 feet above its takeoff point. You'll slide that across and it'll take off. The one under that, the circle with an H and the arrow going into it, that is landing. That is basically telling you you're going to land, and that's the same thing. You'll slide that to land, and it will land itself. You don't have to do anything. Just make sure that it's at a somewhat even ground when you land. Next to the map on the bottom, going from left to right, you have your altitude, you have your distance away from the controller, you have your vertical speed, your horizontal speed, and your camera settings. Up on the top row, going from left to right, you have your home page, your satellite strength, whether or not it's safe to fly, and whether or not you have GPS, how high quality the data being sent back to the controller is, your drone battery life, and your setting menu. And down from there, you have your camera menu, switching in between the photos and recordings. You have taking pictures, and you have your photo gallery. Now, going back to your controller, I'm going to show you how to fly the drone. If you look on the left side, the toggle there, that is your altitude. Going up on that toggle will send your drone up, going down will send your drone down, and going left to right will spin the drone in whichever direction. Now, if you look at the right toggle, this is your movement. Going forward, will send your drone forward, backwards will go backwards, left will go left, right will go right. Pretty basic. Now, if you're holding your drone, if you look on the back, on the right, that is your camera controls. On the left button, that is taking a picture, and the right button is going to your gallery. On the left-hand side, the knob, that is changing the angle of the camera. The little switch is changing what type of recording you have, and the button is hitting record, making it stop. On the bottom, the left button will send your camera from straight horizontal to straight vertical and back again, and the button on the right will take you to the camera settings. Now, if you go up to the settings tabs I showed you earlier, on the left-hand side you're going to see a bunch of options. You're going to go all the way up to the top, you're going to click the one that looks like a drone, and that is how you change your maximum altitude and your maximum distance, and whether or not you want the drone on beginner mode. If you don't know how to fly the drone completely yet, I recommend having beginner mode just so you don't go too far or too high or too fast. And the drone says max altitude of 500 feet, but I've gone 640 feet up, So I guess it just depends on what conditions and what terrain you're in. Now, distance limit, I don't recommend going very far, just because if you aren't experienced, then you won't know where you're going if you don't see the drone. That's about it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and please come back next time for our next video.